I want to just start by talking about how I felt like pre-release and then throughout the game, like individually, how I felt at certain points. So like before the game came out, everyone was talking about like, okay, the desert looks stupid and the NPCs seem annoying. And I was thinking like, okay, these two things, they seem kind of bad, but they don't seem like game breaking. Like, so my thought process was like, okay, I'm going to keep my expectations low. And I think these things might suck, but I don't think like the game will suck entirely. But I wanted to have my expectations like moderate. But yeah, so then the start of the game, so like the intro area, like Fury Green, this area is fine. It's like it's kind of short and basic, but it's fine. And then Volt Forge was actually really good, so I like Volt Forge a lot. Volt Forge actually felt like when you really get to, the good part of Metroid. And then Ice Belt also was really good. So like up to then, it's like, okay, most of the game is pretty good. You have a little bit of desert stuff, kind of stupid, not that big of a deal. So that's when I thought like, okay, the game is pretty good. I have some complaints about it, but it's mostly good. And then after Ice Belt, there's some things that start to make me feel weird. So like, after Ice Belt, between Ice Belt and Flare Pool, there's this section where you have to go. Yeah, you get the ice chip at the end of Ice Belt, and then you have to take the ice chip back to this guy. You have to backtrack here so that he gives you the ice shot, and then he tells you, oh, you can freeze lava, and that immediately makes you think, oh, lava. Go back to Flare Pool because you were at Flare Pool for a short time earlier in the game. And then you go there and you can't actually do anything, and you wander around and you think like, oh, I'm supposed to go here now, right? But I can't do anything. And then eventually you give up, and then after you leave Flare Pool, Miles calls you again and says, hey, actually go to Volt Forge. And then you go to Volt Forge, and normally like it's normal to backtrack to areas to explore with your new items to find other new items. And so you go back to Volt Forge, which I'm thinking, okay, I need to go find something in Volt Forge. And there's a spinner right in front of you for Boost Ball. And then, like, there's no exploring, you just find the Boost Ball panel, and then it just gives you the upgrade you need to go back to Flare Pool, and then go back to Flare Pool, and then you move on. And that's the point where I started to realize that the progression and, like, backtracking is kind of really bad in this game. So backtracking is normal in Metroid, right? But backtracking serves a purpose, which is re-exploring old areas with new equipment that lets you explore new areas. And that entire section is a really bad example, or a good example, I guess, of bad backtracking, where like you have to backtrack to Miles to get the ice shot. There's no extra exploration there. That's just an extra trip across the desert. And then you got to go back to Flare Pool. You don't actually do anything in Flare Pool. You need to enter and leave, and then he'll tell you where to actually go. And then you go to Volt Forge, and you don't actually do any exploring in Volt Forge. You just use the Boost Ball panel right in front of you to get the upgrade. And then you go back to Flare Pool finally. So you have like, what, 3 extra desert trips with hardly any like true exploration through it. And so that part felt really weird. Like, it's not like it was the worst part of the game. I'm not saying it was like super awful. But that's just when like red flags are going through my brain at that point. And then Flare Pool's fine. It's cool. It has a neat boss, nothing super special, but it was nice. Nothing too big to complain about with Flare Pool. And then after Flare Pool, there's a bit of like actual backtracking, like meaningful backtracking, where you go back to Volt Forge. Is it Volt Forge for Spider Ball? Or no, it's Volt Forge for the Thunder Chip, and then Ice Belt for the Spider Ball. Yeah, those were actually good backtracking parts. I like those. And then you go to the mines, and then Great Mines was really not great. So the whole thing with like all the NPCs sacrificing themselves, like, oh no, you have to go on without me, is so like cheesy and forced. And it's just like, oh, they really just want to make you care when it's like, I don't know, it's so cheesy and forced. Yeah, the fake deaths, it's so dumb. And then throughout the mines, yeah, the Grievers, it's Griever spam again. So like there's a few points in the game where you get a bunch of Griever spam, and at certain points, like early on I didn't mind it too much because it's like there's a lore reason for it. So like there's a little bit of Griever spam early on, and that kind of just tells you, oh hey, you know, these things are overrun everywhere. And then there's also a point in Icebelt where there's Griever spam, but there's also, you know, kind of lore for that because you turn on the power in Icebelt, which unfreezes stuff, and they were all frozen, whatever. So it's like, okay, you know what? There's a reason for this. It's fine. But then it just keeps happening, and by the time of Great Minds, it's just super annoying. And like, yes, there's a lore reason for that too, but at that point, it's just like you're just constantly fighting Grievers all the way down. It's just mashing A the entire time, and so yeah, the Mines just kind of sucks because it's just a linear path down where it's just spam A on the Grievers, and then the NPCs pretend to die for you. And then at the end, it's like, oh wow, they didn't actually die. I am so shocked. That is so crazy. And so the Mines was not great. And then obviously at the end of the game, so at the end of the game, there's the quest for the mech parts. The mech parts I actually thought were fine. That was, I think that's like a good end game quest, like a good equivalent of like the Sky Keys or the Chozo artifacts. So I think the mech quest was fine. That was actually kind of an interesting reason to explore the desert. What was not an interesting reason to explore the desert is obviously the green crystals. I mean, I don't need to talk about it that much. I think everyone has talked about it plenty. But the green crystals thing is awful. Not a good, like, not even just how many you need, but it's just a bad mechanic overall. Because, like, it's basically just a reward for how much you've ran around in the desert. Like, it's effectively just, if you've run around for X amount of time, then you should have X amount of crystals or whatever. It's just a bad mechanic. It just says, hey, please run around the desert more. It's just bad. It's not even about how many crystals you need. It's just a bad mechanic. Awful. Just a terrible, terrible idea. And then the ending was not good. Like, so after the fake sacrifices in the mines, the before even the ending, the final boss sucks. Like the first phase of the final boss, where it's like the dragon heads, that's just so annoying. Like you're just babysitting the NPCs. He's invincible for such a long time. The first part, just not a good fight. The second part is okay. It's just kind of weird. I feel like whoever worked on the second part of the fight thinks it was way cooler than it actually was. And then the third part of the fight was fine, but it's just like a fine fight. It's just like, okay, yeah, it's a decent fight, but it's not like anywhere near what I would expect from a final boss fight. And then the ending is so stupid, dude. Like the whole, oh, Sylux gets back one more time, and then the NPCs have to hold him back so Samus can teleport out, and everyone sacrifices themselves. It's so bad. I hate it so much. I think the ending is trash. It's so forced. And also, it's not just that the ending is bad. It's that it also explains why the NPCs are the way they are throughout the entire game. Like everyone was saying like, oh, the NPCs are bad and annoying. And then other people were saying like, okay, yeah, they're annoying, but you know, they're not that bad. They're not like the worst thing in the game. But like the whole thing is like, once you get to the ending, once you see the end, you realize, okay, they really wanted you to like the NPCs, and like all these, you know, annoying quips and everything is because they're desperately trying to get you to like the NPCs, and it just fails really badly. And so now it's like, oh, the reason they were annoying the whole time is because it was a desperate attempt to get me to like them so that this ending would make sense, when it doesn't. And so like it retroactively makes it more annoying, like that the rest of the game they were just, you know, constantly quipping and being annoying the whole game. And so yeah, that's my problem with the ending and the NPCs in general. Like if the NPCs were just kind of annoying, and then they didn't really have anything meaningful in the ending, or even if there wasn't like a fake sacrifice or forced sacrifice, I guess it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But like the way that it goes, like them trying to sacrifice themselves when the writing is like so desperate for them, for the player to like the characters, like that's why I don't like them, is because it feels so desperate. It's not even just that they're annoying, it's that it's very desperate. And yeah, that's why I think all the characters suck. I mean, they don't all like completely suck. There's points where some of them are fine, but it's just like overall do not like. But yeah, other things. So to talk about like individual aspects of the game, I will say on the technical side, it's very good. Like looks very good. Quality is very good. Art is very good. You know, no frame drops at all. Everything on the technical side is very good, and the environments are really nice. Like, Fury Green's fine. It is a bit underutilized. I do think it would have been cool if you re-explored it and like opened up a lot more of Fury Green later on. So it kind of sucks that it was just relegated to like an early area that doesn't have much more to it later. And then, yeah, Volt Forge and Ice Belt were both highlights. Like, Volt Forge and Ice Belt, the more I think about it, Volt Forge and Ice Belt is like everything I like about this game. It's just like, just those two parts is good. And then the rest of the game is just kind of like, I don't care. But yeah, Volt Forge and Ice Belt, very good. Yeah, that's the real game. That's where the game like feels just like a Metroid game. Well, the only thing is they're both very linear. I mean, linearity is what it is. I would, you know, it'd be nice if they were a bit more open-ended for exploring. But I mean, for being linear, they're pretty good. I like those parts a lot. But yeah, other than that, you know, again, Flare Pool is fine, but it's nothing like super special. Mines kind of sucked. The desert, trash. Like, I did somewhat enjoy exploring the desert for some stuff. Like, again, finding the mech parts was fine. I did like finding the caves that had like the upgraded charge shots, or the elemental charge upgrades. Those were cool, and like it was moderately fun looking around for like some of the pickups in the desert. But like overall, the desert is just so not worth it. Like, it's far more bad than good. So yeah, desert bad, tech side good, art good, environment good, story bad. I mean, I didn't look at all the lore. I did kind of skip over some lore. Maybe I kind of doubt the lore is gonna save. Oh, I guess going back to lore and story stuff, Sylex is such a bad villain. Like, dude, why is Sylex even here? Like, I know that Sylex had the secret ending at the end of Prime 3, but it's so weird to me that they chose to keep Sylex as the villain, because like the rest of the game has almost nothing in common with the original Prime series, except for the keeping like the fact that like Sylex was chasing Samus at the end of Prime 3. So it's like, why do you, if you're barely gonna keep anything else in the original Prime series, and I mean the Prime story was over like with Phazon and everything, so it makes sense that they don't have to carry over stuff from Prime 3. It just feels really weird that they had to keep the Sylex like going after Samus part, and then like Sylex is just kind of a villain. He's just like, okay, yeah, he wants to kill Samus, and that's kind of it. I mean, maybe apparently there's some more lore that I didn't bother looking at, but I don't know. It feels weird. Sylex feels very disconnected with the rest of the story. It's just like the story is, you know, about this world with this dead civilization, and Samus is trying to teleport out, and then Sylex is just kind of there that wants to kill Samus and nothing else. It just feels very awkward and disconnected. Is there anything else I need to rant about? Oh, I did actually like going for 100% items. Like once you're done with the game and you want to just 100% it, and then pick up all the extra stuff, that I actually did like that. Just going back and exploring and finding all the extra expansions and energy tanks and everything, that was good. That was like, you know, classic Metroid gameplay. That was actually pretty good. I did like that. No, without copying your save file. Okay, that I actually think that's less of a complaint. I think it's a bit overblown. So people were talking about how after the point of no return, the game like auto saves, so you can't go back to 100% stuff. So the game, it does auto save past the point of no return, but the autosave does not overwrite your manual save. So your manual save, like, you can always go back to your manual save, your last manual save, before going to the point of no return. So I don't think that's as big of an issue as people are making it out to be. There is the thing at the end of the game, like after the credits, where it asks you to save over your file, which on one hand is normal, that they've done that in other games before, but I also do think the wording is bad, and it's just like, it's confusing, and it shouldn't really be a thing these days. But yeah, I think that's most of my thoughts on the game. So like, yeah, overall, I don't know how much I like the game, because again, most of what I like is Ice Belt and Volt Forge. That's like that's where the good part of the game is, and then everything outside of that is just kind of eh. If you get rid of the bad parts, it's really good. I don't know if I'd say it's really good if you get rid of the bad parts. I'd say it's good. The bad parts are definitely the game definitely would improve significantly more from removing things. Remove the desert, remove the desert, remove the NPCs. That instantly makes the game significantly better. I still don't know if I'd call it good. I do have some problems with the backtracking again. Now, obviously, the backtracking isn't the biggest problem in the world, but I do dislike it. Again, about how the backtracking is, like, it's bad backtracking as in, like, doesn't encourage exploration backtracking, not as in backtracking in general. Because, again, backtracking in general in Metroid is good when it's done right, when it's encouraging exploration, but a lot of the backtracking in this game does not actually encourage exploration, and that's just straight up bad. But yeah, again, it's like Vault Forge and Ice Belt, those are really good. The rest of the game, kind of, I don't know. The desert's bad. The ending is bad. Mines is kind of mid, if not bad. Flare pool's fine. Yeah, 100%ing it is 100%ing is fun. Again, I did like going back for all the pickups and stuff. But that's overall my impression of the game. I think it's like a 6 or something. It's like, I think it has a lot of flaws. I was gonna do a hard mode playthrough, and I honestly don't think I want to bother now. So yeah, no, I would not have said a 6 or a 7. It is not a 7. It's more like if I'm choosing another number, it'd be a 5. It's 5 or 6. Yeah, I don't know. Too many flaws. The desert is just like a complete failure, and the ending just really sucks. When I was like playing through it, the last fourth of the game is when the game just completely fell off a cliff. It's like I was enjoying it past the last fourth or so of the game, and then it's just like a steady decline, and then just like jumping off a cliff at the end. I literally had like when the credits came up, I was literally like, that's it. Like, you can't. I don't know. Anyway, that's my general impressions of Prime 4. Not a great game. It has some good stuff, but overall, it's very messy. It's a messy game. I swear there must have been some meddling higher up with including the desert, because I feel like just from like a feeling perspective, like the desert feels like it was made in a completely different game than the individual areas. Like, they do not feel like they belong in the same game. There must have been some kind of development issues, like trying to force that in. But yeah. Anyway, that's my Prime 4 review. 6 out of 10 ish.